When I was little, my dad called me Double Chin Lynne. I think that's where a lot of the trauma started. I was always Double Chin Lynne.
Oh, it's the Can't Get Any Worse podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all ripping into our weeks and coming off the back of what was hopefully a great Father's Day for everyone. I don't think we could have found a better opening clip for the week than this poor lady just TikTok trauma dumping the trauma. I guess that's the only word you can say that her father has put her through. But let's rewatch that opening clip real quick and break it down.
When I was little, my dad called me Double Chin Lynne. I think that's where a lot of the trauma started. I was always Double Chin Lynne.
Double Chin Lynne is so fucking brutal. Like, that's her villain origin story, you know what I mean? Like, she's just going to start tormenting Batman off the back of that. But, oh God, that is just fucking harsh as. But yes, like I said, hopefully the fathers in your lives this weekend didn't come around to your place or you go to their place and they call you Double Chin Lynne. But other than that, guys, how did we all go? Did we all, what's the word? Rake it in big? That's not what I'm looking for. I don't know. What did we all get up to for Father's Day? Basically, we just chilled out at home, but the boys got me all a heap of little knickknacks and trinkets and crafts and shit that they made at kindy. They filled out, you know, those like questionnaires that they make kids fill out for their parents for Mother's Day and Father's Day and stuff. And Westy just made me sound like the biggest fucking nerd on that. He's like, my dad is a pro Fortnite player. What are my dad's interests? Fortnite. Like, brother, there's much more to me than just Fortnite. But we're sitting around the table on Saturday night, and P goes, I go, it's Father's Day tomorrow, P. He goes, oh, yeah? You know what Father's Day sounds like? And I'm like, what's that? And he's like, Fat Hers Day. He's like, it's Fat Hers Day tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, buddy. Just getting fucking roasted by a cunt that still pisses the bed. Oh, God. Guys, I just want to say off the bat, this might not be my best episode. I tried to record this about an hour ago. Just couldn't find a rhythm, couldn't find a flow. So I went and walked the dog, and look, I'm feeling a little bit better. I've actually got a bit of a pick-me-up today. How's this bad boy? I don't know if you guys have ever had this. Celsius. Now, I've heard about it on other podcasts and stuff like that, and I've seen it in the fridge at servos. Never really dabbled in it until over the weekend, and I've got to say, I've become obsessed. It is probably one of the best tasting energy drinks I've ever had, okay? To the point, your boy here is thinking about reaching out to them and come on, Celsius, come on the podcast, jump on board at the ground level and we can grow together, you know what I mean? When I sell out Suncorp one day, I'll say, good night, everyone, and hold up a can of Celsius, something like that, you know? But I'm going to take a little sip of this delicious nectar. What have I got? Cosmic Vibe, fruit punch flavor. Let's have a little sip. Oh, yeah. It's so good. It doesn't have like that. You know how some energy drinks have like that toxic, overpowering energy drink flavor? That's just like, I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it. But they're great. Go try it out. I've only tried that and the watermelon flavor, and both flavors are fucking off the Richter, bro. But yeah, what did I get for Father's Day? Nikita put together this like nice little basket like she always does. Lollies, socks, fucking all this sort of stuff. But the funny one in there, remember she got that caricature made of me. It's sitting up there on the shelf. It used to be on the table. And we all used to have a big laugh about it. Well, she's gone and outdone herself. She got this little keychain made up. And remember like a few months ago when everyone was putting themselves in AI and getting a action figure made of themselves? Well, she did that. And I don't know who this action figure was of, but my lord, it made me look. I don't say this word lightly. I don't think there's any other word other than it made me look retarded. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for using such language, but it took me off guard. When it came in the mail like 2 weeks ago, Nikita and Westy were just sitting on the couch laughing at it. And I'm like, fucking show me what it is. They're like, no, you'll have to wait. The wait will be worth it. But yeah, one thing that I do want to touch on, I came in here last week and I was pretty, what's the word? I was pretty negative towards some customer service that I may have received from two big players in the industry, Subway and Baskin and Robbins, okay? And I just want to come on board with some positivity and say I received some terrific customer service yesterday, just out of the blue, out of nowhere. We went to Bunnings for Father's Day. We didn't go to Bunnings for Father's Day. It just happened to coincide with each other. But we go in. I go to pull a trolley out, and this lovely Bunnings employee strolls up to me with a trolley full of things. She goes, "Excuse me, sir, are you a father?" And I've gone, "Why, yes, I am. Those two demon childs running around destroying your store right there happen to be my spawn." And she goes, "Well, here, take one of these." She reaches in her trolley she's pushing around, and she hands me this like coffee mug, and it's all wrapped up in cellophane with a little ribbon, and the mug's got dad on it, and then in there is a pack of 2 Oreos, a sachet of coffee, which I'm not going to fucking drink, but the thought is there, and then just like 5 or 6 little of those natural confectionery wrapped up lollies. And I was like, fucking here we go. So shout out to Bunnings. Just giving me all my needs in the renovating / garden care that we needed over the weekend, as well as a nice little taste of type 2 diabetes. But that's Baskin and Robbins and Subway. Take a page out of Bunnings' book. Give the general manager of Bunnings a call and see what you guys can do different. But in my little box that Nikita put together, this is the first time I've ever seen this. So I don't know if this is a new thing or whether it's always been there. But my favourite lollies of all time, for like as long as I can remember, are strawberry and creams, right? I am obsessed with them. And it is impossible for me to crack that seal and not destroy the entire bag. They're just, my mouth is salivating right now thinking about them. So I need to get off this topic as quick as I can. Anyway, I opened the pack yesterday, just start shoveling these into my mouth. I put the pack down, but I put the pack down on the bench, like face down. So on the back was all the ingredients and shit. And at the bottom, it had a little square, and it's like serving size is 4 strawberry and creams. And I thought to myself, if you're having 4 strawberry and creams and closing the bag, you're a fucking psychopath. You need to go to a therapist or something and just say, what is wrong with me? Because I don't even know. Like, I've got nothing else to say other than you're a fucking vicious psychopath who needs to get your head checked. Or I'm just a fat cunt with, again, like I said about Bunnings, diabetes coming for me. I could lose a foot by next week, the way that I'm destroying strawberry and creams around here. But let's have some more of this delicious Celsius. Oh, come on board, guys. But Friday I had to finish work a fraction early because P had his Father's Day afternoon tea at his daycare or kindy, whatever it is. And look, we've spoken about P on here countless times about how he's a bit of a shy, awkward kid, sticks to himself. So he's like really started to somewhat come into his own there, okay? He's got his teachers that he's comfortable with. He's got his little group of friends that he plays with. And everyone now knows, they know P, they know how to treat him. They know what's going to fucking make him not cry in the mornings at drop off, yada, 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 right? Now, I go to this Father's Day afternoon tea thing. I'm talking to the usual teachers. We're having a laugh. P's having a laugh with them. And one of the teachers sneaks out a brand new pack of the, what are they even called? Like they're like a circle disc with Velcro on it, and you throw the tennis ball to each other. Whatever the real name is for that, okay? We should make that an Olympic sport. I would destroy anyone in the podcasting industry. Forget Podcast Royale 3.0. Let's do whatever that game is against all the podcasters in Australia. Maybe that's the event I can put on. But yeah, one of the teachers sneaks me a pack of that unopened. She goes, "Here, take P over on the grass and throw the tennis ball to each other." I'm like, "Oh, thank you," because obviously, as much as P hates being around all those people, so do fucking I. Okay, they cook this big sausage sizzle and stuff. I don't want a sausage that someone I don't know has cooked, and I don't want to eat that in front of all these other awkward and shy dads. A bunch of dads in a gathering like that. Oh, it is so awkward. Just, I don't know if it's just like my son's school. No, because they've been to different schools. It's definitely like that. It's just dads. It's like we need our partners to be there in social environments just to break that tension of awkwardness. Otherwise, it's just like a bunch of Neanderthals just dragging their knuckles, eating sausages that the kindy teachers have made. Anyway, we're fucking... You know how at the start I said I didn't have a flow? Now the flow's too fucking... I've turned the tap on too much. Now my brain is just flowing like a river on shit that doesn't even fucking matter. But anyway, me and P, we're out on the grass section. We're throwing the ball. All of a sudden, this young teacher's aide, okay? She's relatively new. I've probably seen her twice in my whole drop-off career. And she comes over and she's looking at us, gives us a bit of a weird look. I throw the ball to P again, looking at her as well, as if to say, what the fuck is this lady's problem? And she obviously doesn't talk to me because I'm not one of her students. So she goes, "Excuse me, Parker, we know the rules around here, don't we?" And I've gone, what the fuck is this bitch doing right now? And P's like, P looks at her but doesn't say anything. And I can just see in P's face, he fucking hates her as well. And she goes, "No hat, no play. We're going to have to go undercover now, Parker." And I've gave her the dirtiest look, and she's just looked back at me. And in the moment, I felt like she shrugged her shoulders at me. But I could have just been in my own head. But she was just on the most fucking insane power trip. And I was just like, oh. So we walked back into Parker's class. I got his hat, put it on his head, and we went straight back out there. And like I was throwing high balls and shit to him, just trying to get him to move his body in like super erratic movements and shit like that so that his hat would blow off, just to see if she'd come back. Never came back. I think my dirty death stares just scared her off enough. But my Lord, there is a lot of like young... Oh, Lord. There's a lot of, like young people, not even like in kindy and shit like that, even in other industries, like security guards and stuff, where they just get that little bit of power and they're like, oh my God, I could rule the world. So hopefully I don't have another run-in with her, but if I do, you guys will be the first one to know. Another schooling story. It's all kids' stories this week. So again, like I like to say, if you're not a parent, just buckle in, bask in my awkwardness and my fucking humiliation, and we'll just ride this ride together. But I'm going to take a little sip before this one because it could potentially get heavy. That's some great Celsius. Available at most service stations, I believe. Unpaid. That's an unpaid sponsor. Hey, you guys get this episode for free. But if you want me to keep drinking that on air, potentially the future episodes, I'm going to have to get one of those like black bars and just put it over the can, or just put a heap of duct tape around it. So the ball's in your court, Celsius. Anyway, let's get on to the next story. Last week, took Westy to AFL. Told you guys all about it. He's doing AFL for like, I think it's like a 12-week course or some shit, whatever it is, Auskick. And so he's got that on Thursday, Arvos. And usually we take P with us, okay? And P's got a little friend there that he always plays with. And I went on Thursday, Nikita was home, and I forget what happened, but P stayed home with her. So it was just me and Westy. I'm sitting there with all the parents, minding my own business. I got my headphones in, and this kid comes running over, and I was watching him before this in a non-weird way, okay? And he looked completely lost without Parker. He was like, my day's fucking ruined. I've got to play by myself. Anyway, he comes running over, and he goes, where's Parker? And I've gone, he's at home today. And he goes, oh, but I wanted to give him some lollies. And I was like, oh, that's okay. He'll be back next week, so just save them for then. He's like, well, no, I've only got them today, so I'll just give them to you. And I'm like, no, thanks. All good. Save them for Parker. He'll be back next week, and you can share the lollies then. He's like, No, hold on. I'll run and get them off my mum and I'll come and give them to you. And I was like begging this kid. I'm like, no, please, I do not want your lollies. And just watching all the parents around me, I just felt their eyeballs burning on me. And I'm just like, I felt like a reverse pedophile. Oh, God. He came running over with a bag of lollies. He gave them to me. And I was like, dude, this is a complete backwards situation. You don't hear about these stories in the news, okay? You just hear all the flip side of these events. You don't hear kids trying to lure me into their trike with the bag of lollies and shit. You just hear the other side of events. So, guys, we need to raise awareness. We need to raise awareness for all us dads out there just getting lured into the back of trikes by these kids. So I can guarantee you I pretty much just snatched that bag of lollies off this kid and jammed them in Westy's bag as quick as I could. It was so fucking awkward. But let's bail out of these school stories with another little video. What do we got here? Who's going to bail us out this week? I think I've got this one up next. Drag him over. All right. What's this bloke up to?
You guys are wondering why my arm ripped open because Punisher ripped my arm open. Felt like pain in my ass.
That's crazy because I've got something in my top drawer that I call the Punisher, and that is a pain in my ass, if you know what I mean. Literally tears me open. But yeah, what a cool dude. I like guys that just get the tattoos where it looks like their skin is ripping open. So I remember that was a big phase. I probably wanted one of them at one point. Who knows what I would have wanted, like maybe like the Australian flag on my, I almost said a slur then. That could have got me in so much trouble. The Australian flag just on my chest, just bursting through with that Aussie pride, you know what I mean? That on this side, and then on this side, the Southern Cross. That would have been fucking sick. That screams Shannon Knoll, that does. Oh, let me close this bloke. And again, I need a fucking button pusher in this studio, eh? But, oh yeah, I know I came on here last week. I was like, basketball season's done, guys. It's all wrapped up. We get a couple of weeks off. No. Boy, was I mistaken. My Lord, my phone keeps going off. How do I silence notifications on here? Bear with me, guys. Play some hold music. I actually don't know. And now that's probably going to keep coming through. All right. We're just going to keep pushing through. Anyway. Yeah, I said basketball was done. Turns out we get a message last week and they're like, oh, game time for this week is 11:15. And we're like, the fuck are you talking about? Basketball's done. And so Nikita replied and she's like, oh, I thought basketball was done. And they're like, oh, no, this is the last game. We've scored an extra game or something. So I'm like, well, everything's on the line now. Like they've gone the entire season undefeated and now that's all on the line. Like, do they have to give their trophies back if they get beaten in this game? Anyway, we go there and I'm not going to touch on the usual shit that I touch on. The scoring was what it was. Again, it was like 50 to fucking 12 or something, but on the scoreboard it was 30 to 12 or something, whatever it is. But what I do want to touch on this week is Westy and his basketball shoes, okay? Now, I just want to preface this. He is in under 10s basketball. The only thing lower than this is mini hoopers, okay? And that's just a bunch of like 4-year-olds running around pegging a basketball at each other. So, by no means is he in like a top tier, top division team or anything like that. But the way that this kid has started going to training, boy, it's getting on my fucking nerves. And I don't know why. I don't know why, because deep down, like I've said, I want him to have a bit more like anger and a bit more mongrel on the court, okay? And this is the type of arrogance that I need him to have. But for whatever reason, it just irritates the fuck out of me when I see it come to fruition. So we go. And Westy walks to the front door in his Crocs and socks. And I've gone, nah, just throw your basketball shoes on. So when we get there, you can just run straight on the court. He's like, nah, it's all good. I'll wear these and I'll get changed on the court. He's like, I don't want to get my shoes dirty. And I'm like, bro, I literally saw you wearing these shoes in the backyard yesterday, just running through dog shit. If they're going to get dirty, they're going to get dirty. So I walk him to, we drive to training. And this kid's just walking through the tunnels like he thinks he's LeBron James. You know, the NBA and the NFL and stuff where they do like the fashion walk before the game, where all the players just rock up in their like fanciest outfit, coolest Nike shoes, blah, blah, blah. That's what this kid thinks he is. I'm like, holy shit, what was all that? I think I might have to go and check what that was. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Jesus Christ, it was just a car driving past, but it sounded like gunshots. But perks of living beside a main road, you know what I mean? But I don't even know where I was up to with that story, but basically, yeah, he's 9 years old. He thinks he's getting signed to who's even like a top-tier Australian team. I only watch the NBA. I should have just said an NBA team while I was on a roll. He thinks he's getting signed to the Lakers. James, insert some fancy editing to make that seamless. We all know I'm not going to do that. I don't know if I've ever edited anything out of an episode. Maybe in the early days, actually. I shouldn't go on record and say that. Anyway, still on the basketball. Again, I'm just going to take a delicious sip of this Celsius, which, again, if you play basketball or your child plays basketball, actually, I don't know if this is suitable for children, so maybe not. But if you play basketball, perhaps some delicious Celsius before your game. Oh, yeah, that's some good Celsius. So we're on the way to basketball. He's in his socks and Crocs. And like I said, I'm trying to get him to get more interactive. I'm like, dude, call for the ball more. Like, get in there. And he's like, oh, I do call for it. Just no one passes it to me. And I'm like, yeah, but basically you run up the end of the court and you just stand there waiting for the ball to be passed to you. And I'm like, you need to move around. You need to find the open spot. If you're open, someone's going to pass it to you for the free shot. And he's like, oh, yeah, all right, I'll try. And I'm like, you know what you need to be like? You need to be like a shark. And he looked at me and I'm like, well, sharks never stop moving, okay? They always have to be moving. I'm pretty sure that's a fact, okay? I had the confidence to say that to my 8-year-old son. Now that I'm saying it on here, not so confident. But anyway, let's assume that sharks can never stop moving. And I go, you just got to keep moving. Just keep swimming, like Dory said. And he looks at me, and his autistic brain processes this, and he goes, but Dad, we don't play in water. We don't swim. How do you want me to be like a shark? And I was like, oh, fuck my life. Thank you so much, David Attenborough. I was trying to teach you a lesson in basketball, and again, you've just got to process this so literally. It is so annoying. It is, like, don't get me wrong. It's amazing. Some of the shit he does is cool, but when he says shit like that, like, he'll get an entire pack of Pringles. You'll be like, oh, Westy, pass us a Pringle. Nobody ever asks for one Pringle, okay? This is like the whole strawberry and cream debacle I kicked the podcast off with. Nobody wants 4 strawberry and creams. Nobody wants 1 Pringle. I say, Westy, throw us a Pringle. He will get 1 Pringle out of the can and pass it to me. Like, bro, you're killing me. You're fucking killing me. But we've had enough stories about Westy. Let's go on to P. P, he's obsessed. Like I said, I can't get this kid into sport no matter how hard I try. But he's going to be the biggest nerd in history. He's obsessed with all these like gaming and shit like that. And at the moment, Roblox is the big one. So Roblox and Minecraft, I suppose. He splits his time evenly between the two. Now, any Roblox parents listening to this, you understand. To them, it makes complete sense. But I look at Roblox and I'm like, the fuck is going on right now? Like, what happened to cool games when I was a kid? Like Grand Theft Auto and shit. Simple. Steal a car, get a gun, bang, bang, you're dead. Done. That's when games are easy. Now you've got to like build entire worlds and like learn how to craft things and stuff, which I get, now that I've said that out loud, is probably more educational, I suppose, for kids, even though it is in a made-up world. But anyway, what I was getting to, Roblox parents will understand that it's a complicated world in there, but I need a bit of sympathy straight off the bat. Can you imagine how complicated it is for me to have a kid with a speech impediment and have to try and search things in the Roblox inventory? Like the other day he comes up to me and he's like, Dad, I need you to search quatches. And I'm like, what? He's like, quatches, I need quatches. And I'm like, crutches? And he's like, no, quatches. And I'm like, I think you're saying crutches. So then I'll have to type crutches in and show him the picture. I'll be like, is this what you mean? He'll be like, yeah, crutches. I'm like, okay, no worries. What's the other one he said? Weesh. He's like, Dad, can you search weesh? And I'm like, weesh. What is weesh? And I'm like, leash? And he's like, yeah, leash. So I search leash, nothing comes up. And I'm like, it's not that. I'm like, what are you trying to say? He's like, weesh. And I'm like, he's like we walk Bailey with. And I'm like, maybe a lead? I'm like, would it be lead? And he's like, no, I think it's weesh. So I search lead, show him the picture. He's like, yeah, weesh. I'm like, okay. And my Lord, I'm just fucking, when he asked me to search something, I've almost got to throw my brain into like stroke mode. I've got to pretend I've just had a stroke and then type something in and it makes complete sense. So yeah, shout out to all my Roblox parents listening. But a little bit of heartbreaking news. I should have thrown this into the daycare story earlier, but P was, we're all at home the other night. Nikita was in the kitchen making lunches for the next day. Completely fucking destroyed our hearts. Like, Nikita and I were both like on the verge of crying, and I was like, hold it together. But like I said, P has a tough time at kindy, like fitting in and shit like that. And now he does have his tight-knit group of friends, so it's cool. But Nikita was making his sandwich, and I've said he only eats like 8 different foods. And Nikita was making his Vegemite sandwich, which is one of the 8 foods that he eats. And he goes, oh, Mum, I don't want you to pack me that tomorrow. She's like, oh, why? Like, you love Vegemite sandwiches. He's like, no, I don't want one tomorrow. And we're like, oh, what's going on? And we're like, why? What's up? And he's like, the boys at school said that Vegemite sandwiches are boring. And we're like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking drive to that school and smash these kids. Oh God. I wanted to look at him and I go, hey P, you want me to come to your kindy and give some of these kids a knuckle sandwich? How about that? Show these kids fucking what bullying's all about. But my Lord, just breaks your heart. That's like I don't know if it's like a greatest fear or whatever, but that's like the one thing about having kids that I fucking hate is like when they're at school or when they're somewhere where you can't intervene or like control the situation, just tears me apart. Like I feel like when the kids get to the age where they start going on school camps, which I think is like next year, I think Westy goes on a school camp. That's going to destroy me. I'm probably going to like rent a hotel room opposite his school camp just so I can like, this sounds creepy. This sounds creepy now I'm saying it out loud, but I just feel like I need to sit at the window with binoculars and just make sure no one's picking on him. That's it. That in a non-creepy way, okay? Let's fucking bail out of that. What have I got next? Oh, all right. Another awkward story from me. Again, I'd just like to apologise for this episode. It is a bit jittery and fucking stop-start today. Not as flowing as the last few have been. But we'll probably get to it in my week in comedy, actually. But for those of you that watch the podcast on YouTube, or maybe even some clips and shit that I've posted up, I do fiddle with my wedding ring a fair bit, okay? I either twist it like this, especially like at work or something. If I'm having a conversation with someone, I'll just either spin my ring like this, or just with the one hand, I'll do this for people watching. I'm basically twisting my ring with my thumb. And when I do that, my other basically all 4 fingers are like twinkling like a star, if you will. Okay, I'm doing spirit fingers for my Bring It On fans. And I was driving with the boys yesterday. We pull up to a roundabout and we're sitting at this roundabout for ages. So I'm fiddling with my ring and then I start doing these ones with the single hand. And I just get this weird feeling that someone's staring at me, okay? You guys know exactly where this is heading. So I'm doing this, feel someone staring at my face. So I look to my right and there's just a car beside me with like a father and a son awkwardly just staring at me and like waving back. And and I'm like, what the fuck are they? I'm like, why are they waving? So then I wave back normally. And then as they've driven away, I've realized like it must have looked like I was just giving them a gay little princess wave or something. And they're just so confused. My Lord. It just brings a whole new meaning to fucking ring fiddling. Oh God, ring fiddling. I like it. Oh, that could be the title. I don't. At the moment, the front runners are Double Chin Lynne or ring fiddling. The ring fiddler. I don't know. I'll play with that. We'll spitball. A couple more stories. Got free tickets again. Old Matty Carvosso, the fucking free ticket king, hooked us up again. I spoke to him during the week. I go, Westy was pretty upset that he couldn't come to the footy on the weekend. And Matty's like, I'll just get free tickets for this week. I'm like, of course. Why not? So he called me during the week. He's like, I've got 5 free tickets for you, Nikita, P, and Westy. And I called Nikita and I'm like, Matty got us tickets to go to the footy with him. And she's like, P's got that play date thing on the Saturday afternoon. So she's like, you just take Westy. So I was like, I told Westy and he was fucking over the moon. So excited for it. So we cruise down there. We meet Matty and a couple of his mates down there. And I guess we'll touch on the game real quick. Westy shuts down in public, okay? Like as soon as we got to the stadium, pretty much shut down. And I was actually surprised. He gave Matty and Matty's friends like a high five and shit like that, which I didn't think he was going to do. But as soon as we got to our seats, just pretty much mute. Didn't say a word. I kept checking on him every 2 minutes. I'm like, sure you're all good? He's like, yeah, I'm all good. But he was just obsessed with watching the footy and how high these guys could kick the ball and just like how fucking giant these blokes are in person. And so I could tell he was like enjoying it, but still at the same time he was fidgeting. Didn't look fucking stoked to be there in a way. So I was like, oh, fuck. But then the game finishes and we go, but then Jaden Campbell, the halfback for the Titans, jumps over the fence and he goes running up to his family. And as he's run past, Matty knows him. So he's like, oh, hey, Matty, how you going? So Matty wanted to film another video with him for the Felice Kafusi thing. And Matty goes, I'll try to get his jersey as well. And I was like, fuck. Could you imagine Westy's face if Matty got Jaden Campbell's jersey and like gave it to him? Like that, as an 8-year-old boy, that's like the pinnacle. That's the coolest shit you can do. So we're kicking around and obviously at this stage, it's chaos. Everyone's trying to get down to the field to get shit signed. There's people trying to exit. So I could tell Westy he wanted to bail. So we stayed for like an extra 10 minutes or so. Said hello to Jaden Campbell, blah, blah, blah. And Matty did his video with him. And I said to Matty, I'm like, I got to get Westy out of here. He's fucking keen to go home. Matty's like, yeah, cool. And literally 10 minutes later, Matty sends us a video and he's holding a Titans jersey. It wasn't Jaden Campbell's, but still, he got a fucking Titans jersey. Oh, Matty just gets his finger in every pie. But as soon as we got to the car, Westy just would not shut up about this game. He had the sickest time ever. He's obsessed. He's like, can you ask your friend Matty when we can go again? I want to go to all the games, blah, blah, blah. So told Matty, and I think we're going to go to a fair few next year. So, it was pretty cool that he had such a sick time. So hopefully he gets over the whole awkwardness and shyness of being in that big crowd and shit like that. But what I did want to say, right, I warned Westy all week. I go, look, we're going to go to the footy on the weekend. It's going to be packed, okay? And the reason I thought it was going to be packed is it was Kieran Foran's last game. Now, to me, and look, I'll say this again, I haven't been into the footy for probably a good 5 or 6 years, okay? It's probably been, 6 years since I've watched it as a season, okay, and been like interested of who's where on the ladder, blah, blah, blah. And this year I've just paid zero interest. But I did hear this week that it was Kieran Foran's last game. Back when I used to watch footy, Kieran Foran was like, he was one of the best, you know what I mean? Like, fucking everyone looked up to him. One of the GOAT, like, New Zealanders, and I don't even know where I think he's played Manly, Bulldogs, and finished up his career at the Titans there. So I was like, this is going to be packed. Everyone's going to send this bloke off. And I got there, and to see the amount of empty seats that we saw, it like rattled me a bit. They're like, this bloke has dedicated his entire life to this sport, probably like countless injuries and shit like that. And I think they did the seating attendance, is that it? And there was 16,000 people there, which I get, nothing to sneeze at, but still, I would have thought that stadium would be packed out to send off a legend like Kieran Foran. But again, maybe I've just been out of the game so long that I don't know who's legends these days. But back in my day, guys, if I didn't have that knee injury back in the day, I probably would have been out there with the boys. But what is pretty cool is where Matty gets these free seats, because he gets the free tickets off one of the Titans players. So we sit with players' families and friends and shit like that. And it is pretty cool to just hear the families like bantering about their sons and brothers and shit out on the field. So that's all fun. But the cool thing is, this is the sickest thing for me to take away from the whole game, is a couple rows to the left and back to us, there was like this Down syndrome bloke, all right? And he was just so happy and stoked to be there. He was up dancing. He was having the sickest time of his life, okay? And he was just entertaining everyone around him. Everyone loved him. And I was peering back and I was trying to get in on the action. And he rocked up in full Tigers gear, okay? He had Tigers jersey, Tigers scarf, Tigers hat, everything, a Tigers flag, I think. And the family in front of him was like 3 daughters and a dad, all in Titans gear. And every time, so the Tigers scored 2 tries off the bat. And each time they scored, this Down syndrome boy's like tapping him on the shoulder and he's like dancing in their face, celebrating and shit. And then the Titans, over the next little bit before halftime, got back in front. Now, this is the funny part, okay? The kid had been given the dad all this shit. The Titans get in front, and none of us saw this. I didn't see this. I just happened to turn back at the perfect time. I turn around, look at this kid, and he's tapped the dad on the shoulder again, and the dad's turned around as if to say, like, what could he possibly want? We just scored. And this Down syndrome boy has done the quickest outfit change in history. Like, he was basically like Superman when Superman goes into the phone booth. And he's just done the biggest NRL heel turn in history. This kid is now head to toe in full Titans merch. And in his backpack, he had a Titans jersey, Titans hat. Everything he had for the Tigers, he had in Titans as well. And he just, every time one of the teams would get in front, he'd quickly get changed again into that, like whoever was winning. It was so fucking funny to watch. But God, it made me happy to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's rip into my week in comedy. I got a late fill-in spot for Matic Brewing down at Ashmore on Friday night. So I already had the Palm Beach gig down the coast on Friday. So I was like, fuck yeah. Like that, the Palm Beach one started at 8 and Matic starts at 7. So I was like, couldn't be any more perfect. Let's fucking do it. Plus I was also thinking, this gives me double opportunity in one night to practice a new material for the show, like a portion of it. So I picked aside 2 jokes that I wanted to try, one shorter one and then one of the longer-winded stories of the show. Both parts of the show, obviously. Now, I was practicing them on the way down, and the shorter story I was starting to get comfortable with. It was actually one of the earliest jokes I had that I've just more or less completely rewritten now that hopefully I'm a better joke writer, if that makes sense. So I was pretty comfortable with that one. And then the longer one, I just was not getting it. I was just missing lines. I was missing crucial callbacks for the story, blah, blah, blah. So I was 10 minutes away from the venue and I was just like, fuck it. I'm not going to do the longer one because if I brutally fuck it up, it's just going to mess with my head and I'm just going to think it's dog shit. So I'll just stick to the shorter one that I know. And I get there and relatively smaller night for that venue. I think there might have been like 25 people there maybe. But again, the venue it's small and tight so you can make it feel like there's more. So everyone's pushed up to the front. And I was like, okay, this might not be too bad because there's not that many people here. So if I do bomb that bad, who's really going to care? So the MC gets up and it's pretty obvious straight off the bat that this crowd is they're not very receptive. They don't really want to engage in crowd work, things like that. They basically just want to sit there and be entertained. And the MC is having a hard time to crack him. He's getting a couple of giggles here and there. And then he calls me up and I'm like, fuck, this is not going to go well. So I start on some old faithful gear, probably like 3-4 minutes of reliable stuff. And then I'm like, all right, it's go time. And I get into this joke and I just don't know what I don't know if I was so nervous about them because, again, the 3 to 4 minutes I just did probably didn't go great, to be honest. So I was like, fuck, they're going to hate this because it's not even like a properly formed joke yet, blah, blah, blah. So I was a little bit in my head and a little bit, I don't know what it is really, but I started the joke and this is what fucked me. Like I said, it was a rewrite of an old joke and it was just one line that I said the old way that I'd written the joke and it just fucked up the rest of the joke. Like I got 3/4 in then and I was like, fuck, that line was supposed to be this to set up the punchline. And I just had to play it off into some like shitty crowd work. And I was just like, look, I fucked that up so bad that I can't even finish. And then I just started riffing with someone in the crowd just to bail out of it. But it was pretty pretty brutal. So then I just finished on some reliable gear, got a couple of chuckles, which, it was not a great gig on my part. Bombed pretty hard. So then I had to head to Palm Beach off that bomb and I was just in my head and I was like, fuck. I got to Palm Beach telling the other comedians there, I'm like, I just had a heavy bomb. And I think there were like 2 or 3 people into the gig when I got there. And when I got there, I could hear the laughs from downstairs before I even walked up. I was like, oh, this crowd sounds hot. This could be a good one. I get there and the comedians are like, oh, it's a fucking rowdy crowd tonight. And I was like, perfect. That's what I need. I need people that are just ready to have a sick time because I just came from death. And I get there and I was second after the break, I think. So by that time, this crowd is well and truly blitzed, okay? They are all types of fucked up. And I loved it. I got up there, first joke hits hard. And I'm like, yes, thank fuck, we are on here. So I build a little bit of confidence for the new joke and I just start. But what comes pretty obvious very quickly is they're not here to hear material. They want to be part of the show. They want to be fucked around with. So I just start doing a bit of crowd work. I start trying to like tie some of my bits into what they're talking about. And I just try to build momentum into a bit again. And people yelling shit out and they were just so rowdy. Easily, hands down the rowdiest crowd I've been in front of this year. And it was a sick set. I loved every second of it. I think I had a 10-minute spot and I think the MC let me go on. I think my timer was 14 minutes when I got off of just more or less crowd work. Like I didn't even get all my bits that I had written down that I wanted done. And I didn't do the new bit again because I was just like, this is not going to work in this room. This is literally, it felt like, what's the word? Not sink or swim. What's the other one? Like something or die. Like I felt like I was just in the spotlight and these guys were just coming at me and I just had to have quick rebuttals and just roasting them. And there was just this one lady, right? Once I'd won them over after the first 5 minutes or so, 3/4 of the crowd was giving me the leash to go, okay, show us what you got. Show us some of your material. And I'd start to build momentum. I'd start to build a bit of tension in stories and stuff. And this lady would just yell out shit that just didn't make sense. So then I'd like try and talk to her and she'd have nothing. She'd say nothing back. And I was like, okay, so you're going to yell out during stories, but when I try and talk to you, you're not going to talk back. And like the way that she processed this, her eyes were just like rolling back in her head like a malfunctioning pokey machine. Oh God. But it was one of those gigs where it was like so fun, but on the other hand, the main focal point that I wanted from Friday night was to test this material and see if it was going to work. So the big takeaway that I took from that night is I am 100%, and this is like why I struggled to get so much momentum going this morning because I'm just so in my head again. But just fucking up that one story and not having that long-winded story down pat enough to even try. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to learn a whole hour of new shit in exactly 4 weeks, basically? So yeah, basically shitting myself. And the next 3 weeks are hands down probably the busiest I have been in podcast / stand-up like history in my world, if that makes sense. I think over the next 7 days, I've got 7 podcasts. I think 4 of those are mine, and then I'm a guest on 3 podcasts. One of them is in Sydney, so flying down for that one, which will be fucking sick. I'm looking forward to that one. We're looking forward to all the ones I'm guest on, actually, but yeah, it is a very chaotic and busy time, and that is just a little bit of a reason why I'm so in my head and probably not my funny, flowing, jovial self this week. But let's pull out of that with another. This will be our last Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip for the week. Let's see what this bloke is doing. This looks like an interesting one.
Here we go. It's a crown of syringes, and I made one for you, David. Just put it up, straight on. Ooh.
It's salt and pepper stallion.
It is.
Rise again, buddy.
It's salt and pepper stallion. It's interactive because then you can pull the syringes
We can
down.
do 10 mils of whatever you put inside of it, put it in your body.
You can put 10 mils of whatever inside your body. I do not even want to know, but the Salt and Pepper Stallion, that is a pretty sick nickname. I don't mind that. Can you guys start calling me the Salt and Pepper Stallion? Oh, Lord. The internet is fucked up. But shout out to those guys just making drug hats out of Burger King crowns. Couple of things that I will wreck this week. I don't want to go into them too much. Just things that I've watched or listened to. Mainly listened to, actually. So the first one is Justin Bieber released Swag 2, which, again, look, I'll go on record. It hasn't hit me as hard as the first Swag one did a couple months ago, but still some absolute bangers on there. So shout out to JB. The other one is a couple of podcasts. If you guys have finished listening to this podcast, jump in and listen to these ones this week, because these are 3 crackers that I just fucking enjoyed this week. First one was Kill Tony this week. He had Rob Schneider on there as a guest, which I was like, why the fuck? This is not going to be good. Like, Rob Schneider is not known as a stand-up. I understand he's got specials and shit like that, but he's more a comedic actor. But holy fuck, he blew me away as a guest on Kill Tony, just roasting people. Yeah, sick episode. So go check that one out. The other 2 were both Theo's podcasts this week. One of them was with the great Jim Norton. I fucking love Jim Norton. So just listening to those 2 go back and forth was sick for me. So go give that a listen, whether or not you guys enjoy it. The other one, Theo got a Amish boy on there who's on his Rumspringer. I think that's how you pronounce it. And just cool, again, just listening to Theo ask questions that someone like me would ask someone like that. But yeah, it was just cool to get an insight into the like Amish community and some shit that I thought they did, they don't actually do, and then other stuff. Yeah, it was just a cool chat between the 2 of them. But yeah, go check those out. Now, the last thing this week, guys, I know this is going to fucking take you guys as off guard as it took me this week, okay? I finish the episodes every week and I go, if you've got something you'd like to say to the show, send me an email at cantgetanyworsepod@gmail.com, okay? To my surprise, I opened the inbox this week. I've got 3 calls from you guys, the listeners, and I was like, holy shit, the podcast gods are shining down on me. So let's rip right into it, guys. For the first time ever, Can't Get Any Worse calls. Again, I don't know if that's what I'm going to call this segment and if you guys are even going to continue sending calls in like this, but let's hit play. Let's see what you guys are on about. And yeah, we'll see if this segment even fucking sticks around. So what's the first one we got here? Let's
G'day, Jimmy. Surprise! It's bloody me, Daz, from the gym. Mate, I saw you uploading a bloody video the other day. I did a bit of snooping on the old Facebook. Realised you're doing this little podcast thing here. So I've had a bit of a listen. Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. But I reckon it could do with a bit more Daz. Probably get you a few more listeners if I call in with a couple of yarns here and there, mate. So here's one for you. I was at the gym the other day and saw this bloke on the lap pull down. You probably know him if you saw him, but he was doing it fucking completely wrong, obviously. And like you know, mate, I've given you a couple of tips here and there. So I like to help out the young players in the gym. I don't know if I've told you, mate, I used to be about 100 kilos, mate. I've lost a fair bit of weight. So anyway, I went over. I probably saved his rotator cuff, if I'm being honest, mate. Bloody owes me one, I'll tell you that. But lastly, mate, I just wanted to touch base. I know we're talking about our Navaras the other day. We've got pretty similar cars. Obviously, you got the base model and stuff, which, like, don't get me wrong, mate, it's probably pretty good to pick up groceries and shit like that. But if you ever want to go forbying or do some real bloke shit, just give us a bell, mate. I'll take you out and we'll have a bloody good afternoon. But anyway, mate, I've got to shoot off. The boss is asking me what he's got to do today. I pretty much run this site, mate. But I'll probably see you at the gym some stage this week. Anyway, mate, I'll catch ya.
Fuck me. How has that cunt found me? Shout out to Daz. Thanks for calling into the show, mate. I don't think you saved that bloke's rotator cuff. I think you just annoyed him so much that he just packed up his gear and left the fucking gym like I do. But I think he'd rather lose his rotator cuff than listen to another moment of you. But thanks for calling in, Daz. Listeners, I'm glad you guys got to experience a bit of him. Let's hope that our next caller is a little bit more little less unhinged. Let's say that.
Hi, Jimmy. It's me, Braden from Weston's class. I took a sick day off school today and I'm bored and I was about to play PlayStation and I was like, oh, Weston's dad doesn't have a real job, so he can probably play with me. So I actually got a new gamer tag. I think that's why you haven't been playing with me lately. But anyway, I'm home if you want to play, and if you don't, that's all good. I'll see you at school pickup probably tomorrow. I'll save you a seat next to me, and I'll bring a pack of pizza shapes for you or something. Okay. Anyway, bye, Jimmy.
Wow, thanks for calling in, Braden. Thanks for calling in, mate. It's a pleasure to have you call up the podcast, but. You're mistaken there, Braden. I do actually have a proper job. My job is to take calls from 8-year-old stalkers such as yourself, but please don't save me a seat next to you at school pickup. I cannot take any more of that heat. I'm a 33-year-old dad. I do not need to be sitting next to you in line for tuck shop. So I will take those pizza shapes, though. Those do sound delicious. We've got one last call here. See who this one is.
Well, hey there, Jimmy. It's Jared here. Jared Fergo. Yes, the Jared Fergo from Subway that lost all that weight just eating the Subway sandwiches. Anyway, I'm in a new position here at Subway after all that backlash that we got a couple of years ago, mainly due to the stuff that I did, which I don't want to bring that back up. But anyway, my new role is I'm actually an enforcer. I go around and just look for bad press. Obviously, we can't afford to have any more, and your episode last week actually found itself onto my desk. Now, I would just like to say that it doesn't fucking matter where we put the sauce on your sandwich as long as it's fucking on there, all right?
Jeez.
Now, I trust that you won't talk about Subway in a bad way anymore. Otherwise, Jared will come and jam his 12-inch cock down your fucking throat, all right? Now, shut the fuck up and keep doing your stupid little podcast to the 5 people that fucking listen, you dumb cunt. Anyway, see you, Jimmy. Jared Fergo out.
Jeez, Jared Fogle from Subway, guys. Thanks for calling in, Jared. Appreciate it, mate. Did sound quite aggressive there, but I'm sure if Subway can survive you, they can survive my little crankiness about condiments, you know what I mean? But, hey, Jared, at least when I order a footlong, I'm talking about a sandwich, not the type of shit that you used to be into. So thanks for calling in, Jared. But yeah, that wraps up our first Can't Get Any Worse calls for the podcast. So what do we reckon, guys? Well, it's up to you guys, really. You guys need to send these calls in. But yeah, I'm interested to see maybe Daz and Braden might be back next week, and maybe someone I've spoken about this week. Who knows? Maybe someone wants to call up and intervene. But yeah, if you guys want to get involved with the show, then just send through a little voice note to cantgetanyworsepod@gmail.com and we'll play them on the show. But let's play our funny clip of the week before we get out of here. One of the greatest to ever do it, Bill Burr with one of my all-time favourite stand-up bits.
No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh, my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a no. I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other people, right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't say it like that. She didn't say it like that. Yeah.
Bill Burr, one of the fucking goats. Go check out that special, Paper Tiger, one of my favourite specials. But yeah, that concludes us for another week, guys. Appreciate you for listening. Gigs this week, I've got a new show at Guilt Free Comedy. I haven't been a part of this one yet. I'm interested to see how it all goes, but I think it's called, what is it called? I should have got the show title. But basically, all us comedians go up there with a story, and the crowd has to guess whose story is real or something like that. So I'm interested to see where that all goes and things like that. Other than that, I am at the Star Casino on the Gold Coast on Sunday the 14th. And then I am flying to Sydney on the 15th for that podcast. West Park shows to plug. I've got Sunny's on Saturday the 20th of September, Distillery Road on 21st of September, Orion Hotel October 10th, and the big one, guys, we need to fucking sell this bad boy out. If you haven't shared it with anyone in the Brisbane, Southeast Queensland region yet, please do so. But October 7th, debut solo show, Epiphany at Good Chat Comedy Club. Like I said, absolutely shitting myself and doing absolutely everything I can to get the show ready and sell it out. So big reason why I'm jumping on these other podcasts as guests. I appreciate them even having me on as a guest when I'm an absolute nobody. I will obviously plug those as they come out. Other than that, guys, send submissions via DM on Instagram at CantGetAnyWorsePodcast, or shoot me an email at CantGetAnyWorsepod@gmail.com. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you for listening. Throw us a 5-star rating. Most of all, don't forget to stay creamy, and I will see you soon.
Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. It's alright.